Getting enough respondents for your surveys can sometimes be quite challenging. You need to get your questions in front of the right audience and get them to respond to them. In this video, we're going to take a look at Google surveys, which can help you to do just that. All and more coming up right after this. Hi there, and welcome to another video of MeasureSchool.com, where we teach you the data-driven way of digital marketing. My name is Julian, and on this channel we do tutorials, how-to videos, and take a look at the latest marketing tech, just like this one. So if you haven't yet, consider subscribing. Now, we oftentimes use surveys at MeasureSchool to understand our audience better. The qualitative data adds a great context to how we build this channel and release new videos. Sometimes though, you don't want to survey your existing customers directly, but a more general audience to do market research on. How? Well, you could set up a survey and run AdWords ads on them so you get enough responses, but it's quite complicated and also time consuming. So now Google has a new tool out there called Google Surveys. It helps you to get consumer insights fast. Not free, but certainly worth checking out. We got lots to cover, so let's dive in. Right, today our journey starts here at google.com/analytics/surveys. This is the home of Google Surveys because it's actually part of the Google Analytics 360 suite. But now it's also available to us, so we can start surveys with the help of Google Surveys. All you need to do is sign in with your Google account, and you will be greeted with an overview of the currently running surveys. But before we dive into the actual consumer insight surveys that Google Surveys is known for, you can also run a survey on your own website. For that, you can go over to Sites right here and add a new site. All you need to do is then enter your website name. You get your Google Surveys snippet that you can install onto your website. There's also a handy tag template within Google Tag Manager. So all you need to do is choose the Google Surveys website satisfaction template here, and it will be installed onto your website with the right trigger of all pages. You can install this within minutes. What this will enable you is to get a free website satisfaction survey. This is the survey right here with these questions. You can also then use your website visitors as a target group in the survey builder that we will discover in a minute. Now, just about this free satisfaction survey, once you install this all, you can configure your settings here, how often it should be shown, or if the user doesn't want to answer, when should it be shown again. And once you have installed it, let's reload this here, you should get this little pop-up where you can answer these 4 questions. And these are quite vital and standard questions for website surveys. Qualitative data that lets you discover why your user is currently on the website and if he reached his goal that he set out to achieve on your website today. So pretty standard questions. You can then always go back once you activate this and it's running on your website and see the results right here in your website satisfaction survey. Now the results take a little bit to populate, but all in all, a great free service by Google Surveys. Now this is only free up to 500 responses per month. After that, it will reset again. So if your site isn't that big, you can definitely get some insights here about your website as well. But let's get into the meat of Google Surveys. These are actual consumer insight surveys with which you can reach target groups that you don't have access to. So let's try this out. When we click on New Survey here, we are going straight into the audiences that we can target our survey to. Our website is now in here as well because we configured that. And we can go ahead and look at these demographic data that lets us target our preferred group. Now, on the right side, you have already seen this is the pricing that updates when you choose different kind of targeting here. So we can target by age, for example, as well. All right. Now the general population is pretty open. You could also just go onto Android smartphones. So here we have the Android options, pretty much the same as in the general population, but of course already segmented to Android smartphone users. And then we have the special audience panels, and the audience panels are actually groups of people that opted in to receive surveys, and they also gave up some information. So we have some groups here that are usually hard to find, but the groups are also a bit limited, so you only have these 6 different groups available for your survey to run on. Be aware that the price goes up with such a audience panel. Now let's go with a general population survey here and just continue. And then we go straight into our question builder. And unfortunately, there are only 3 formats of questions you can choose. There's a single answer, the multiple answer, and the rating scale. Now, the shorter your survey is, the less money you pay per response, obviously. So let's start out by adding a question here. And you can enter your answers. You can then randomize the answer order. If you do that, I would recommend to pin this answer to the end, at least for the other here. And then you could also put in screening questions. So if you have multiple questions in here, you can connect them and say, I only want to show this option to a user who answered previously in a certain way. Now we won't do this for now. As I mentioned, you can always add a question here, but this will increase your price for the completion. So we won't do this for now. Let's confirm. And we go straight to the payment screen where we can enter the responses that we would like to have. Now this goes as low as 1 answer, but obviously you would need to have a certain threshold in order to make this representative depending on the study you are conducting. Once you're ready, you can go ahead and buy this survey. Now, Google Surveys will screen your questions and let you know if this is approved. Same approval process, kind of like AdWords. So if you have done anything wrong or your questions are not well phrased, they will get back to you to correct these mistakes. Now, we already have built a survey here where we can look at these results. So here we have our results with 77 responses. And here's our question. Seems like the mobile device and tablet is the predominant factor when people are consuming video content. Now this is not very targeted, but we can always click into the question here and a segmentation screen opens up and we can look at how does male and female correspond, different age groups, basically the same information that we had available for our audience. So here we can poke around, and we also have the ability to download this data in an Excel file. We can share it, but unfortunately not to Google Analytics or to Google's Data Studio. And we can preview our survey. So let's do this really quickly. Let's look at how our survey would look like on a desktop site. And here we can see it's right in the content of certain content sites apparently, where people can use these to answer the question and the survey disappears. So this is what our survey would look like. We also have a toggle here to see the raw count. So it switches around between absolute numbers and the percentages. Now this is not very big, especially once we look at our surveys overview. We don't have real visualizations here. If we would have more questions, let's go over and take a look at some example surveys that we have in this account. So for example here, we have many more questions. And obviously, if we are interested in one, we can always click in and segment our groups here. So here you can also change around the compare option. So you can see your results based on the questions you have asked. Same as Data Studio, you would also be able to look at your responses here. So all in all, a great little tool to get consumer insights fast and easy to handle from an all-in-one interface of Google Surveys. So there you have it. This is how you can get your questions answered with the help of Google Surveys. Now you might think this is just a tool for research or forecasting companies, but I find it quite exciting that it's now easily accessible to anyone who has a few questions. So think about how you could be using this tool to gain better insights about your market or your customers. I could imagine this being a great supporting tool or the next step for finding good data that can support your quantitative data. Maybe you could use it to add better context to your quantitative data in your next data presentation or drive your home point with this qualitative insight. The opportunities are plentiful, and I'm sure you have used such data before, so I'd hope to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, if you like this video, please share it to a friend or a colleague and subscribe to this channel to get more of these videos every Wednesday. My name is Julian. Till next time.